the games we used to play and the way we used to play. Play has been changing year by year. We can't compare how our great-grandparents played with the way our grandparents and parents used to do it. Toys and creativity used to be very different. I'm going to focus on what I remember about the time when I grew up. In the 90s, people used to play in many different ways. This is the interesting part about the generation that's called millennial. People who were born between 1981 and 1996. This generation grew up at the same time most technological advances started to happen. For example, we didn't have cell phones when we were kids, and computers were not very common in regular families. In our country, we learned to use technology as it started to come out. Why am I talking about technology? Because when we talk about the games we used to play and the way we used to play, we have to mention video games. In the past, not many people used to have consoles, so something nice is that kids got together to play video games in one single house. During the 80s and 90s, there were different consoles. Some people played with Atari, Nintendo, Sega, and later in the 90s, PlayStation and Xbox. However, we couldn't play some games because they were considered too violent. Even when children had video games at home, they used to go to other places to play games that they couldn't play at home. Those games were as violent as some video games we have nowadays, but in the past, they were considered different. These technologies were very different in the past, but all of them used to make us laugh and have fun for hours, either in our houses or in other places that we knew as videos, or sala de videojuegos, what in English people know as arcades. We didn't only play video games, and this is why parents didn't have to worry much about our time in front of the screen. We also used to go out to the streets to play many different kinds of games. We used to play marbles, Jojo, top, elastics, hopscotch, hide and seek, touch and go or tag, and of course many different sports like soccer, volleyball, and basketball. Something that's important to mention is that kids in the 90s used to spend a lot of time playing games in the streets. As we mentioned before, even though many children had access to video games, they most times preferred to play in the streets with their friends. This is a big difference with kids now. Parents now don't think their kids are safe in the streets, so it's really difficult to see kids playing in the streets. And you usually see them with a phone or tablet in their hands, of course, with some exceptions. Finally, talking about the games we used to play and the way we used to play is very interesting, but we wouldn't close this video without sharing some awesome video games names, and also board games. So let me start with some famous video games. Mario Kart, Mario Party. Other amazing games were Castlevania, GoldenEye, Pokémon, Super Smash Bros., Street Fighter, and Mortal Kombat, which was another fight video game, just as Street Fighter. Also, some board games like Monopoly, Life, and Clue, and some other examples that I don't have time to mention right now. Anyways, I hope some of you enjoyed this video, especially those of you who are millennials. Bye.